Hello everyone, welcome to this course on business skills for agro dealers. If you run a business supplying farmers, this course will provide advice and guidance to help grow your sales, manage your finances, run your shop more efficiently, and increase your profits. In other sessions, we talked about how you can make more money by developing a marketing plan. In today's session, we will discuss how to develop a budget so you don't run out of money and maintain a healthy cash flow. With me today are 3 agro dealers. First, Mukisa, who has been running his business for a long time.
Yes, for 25 years.
We also have Damba.
Thank you. Cash flow is an issue for my business, so I am interested in whatever advice you might have.
Hopefully we can help. Finally, we have Namazi, who is just about to open her shop.
Hello.
All right, shall we begin? Okay, let's start today's discussion with a question. Have you ever reached the end of a week where you had strong sales and happy customers, but when you sit down to pay your bills and count your money, you end up with far less profit than expected?
I have, many times. Sometimes, when I am holding my cash at the end of a day, I feel like a rich man. But then, after I get done paying my suppliers and my helpers and my creditors, it's like the money is all spent before I've even earned it.
Don't get discouraged. Many business owners feel that way. Cash flow is especially challenging for agro dealers since we make most of our money before harvest time but have to pay expenses all year round. Now, perhaps you're saying, I am not doing so badly. I always have enough to pay my bills with something left over. But just because you have money at the end of the day, that doesn't mean you have not lost money. For all you know, you might be spending too much on transport, and if you managed to address those issues, you could have even more money at the end of the day. So whether you are struggling or successful, you need to have a budget. So, do the 3 of you all keep a budget for your business?
Well, my business hasn't opened yet, but I did sit down and estimate my expenses.
I used to, but after so many years, I know what things cost and how much I can expect to earn in a season. So what's the point?
Well, I do my best to keep records.
Okay, well, let's start by defining exactly what we mean by a budget. Simply speaking, a budget is a written record of everything you think you will earn in a given amount of time and everything you think you will spend so you can plan for the year and avoid financial problems before they arise. Now, when building a budget, we need to consider the following: income, expenses, net income, our break-even point, and cash flow. Let's discuss each of these in greater detail. The first thing you must do when you create a budget is to identify your sources of income. Now, for agro dealers, most of your income will come from sales of products or services. However, you should also account for any other sources of money. For instance, maybe you own a building and rent space to other businesses. Or perhaps you have a bank account that earns a bit of interest. All of that should be included. You should also include any money that you borrow or put into the business yourself. For instance, if you decide to spend 3 million Ugandan shillings of your personal money on a new motorbike, you should include it in your budget as income.
Sorry, I don't understand that last part. Why would I count my own money as income?
If we want to be disciplined about managing our finances, then it's important to treat your business and personal finances as separate. If all your business and personal expenses are mixed up, it will complicate your decisions and make it impossible to tell if you are running your business efficiently. So when you decide to spend your personal money on your business, record it in your budget as if someone else gave you that money, with the assumption that you will pay yourself back with interest later on.
That sort of makes sense.
Once you have identified your sources of income, you need to develop a realistic estimate of how much income you expect to make throughout the year. Start by estimating your quarterly income, that is, for every 3 months of the year. Now, if your business is like most agro-dealers, there will be at least 1 or 2 quarters during the year when you don't have much income at all. Then there will be a different quarter around the harvest where you will probably see most of your income for the year. When estimating your income, it can be helpful to review your records from past years if you have them, and consider if anything has changed. It's also wise to be a little pessimistic. If you assume that the upcoming harvest will be slightly below average, then you are unlikely to be disappointed. Next, we must consider our expenses. That is to say, all the money we have to spend to keep our business running. There are 3 main types of expenses you must include in your budget: fixed costs, variable costs, and one-off costs. Fixed costs are expenses that never change no matter how well or poorly your business performs. For example, the rent for your shop. You have a good year, your rent is the same. You have a bad year, your rent is the same. It doesn't change. It's fixed. Then there are variable costs. These are expenses that change. For example, if you sell a large quantity of fertilizer and need to order more, then your cost of supplies will be higher. In other words, variable expenses vary. One-off costs are expenses that are outside of your regular business dealings. For example, maybe one of your workers puts too many bags of feed on a shelf and it collapses. In that case, you'll have to spend money to buy new shelves. Now, hopefully, you won't be buying new shelves every year. Hence why we call it a one-off expense. So, when building your budget, you need to total your fixed costs, estimate your variable costs, and reserve a reasonable amount for one-off costs that arise throughout the year. Then break it down by month or by quarter so you can compare it to your estimated income.
Excuse me, but while I understand budgeting for fixed costs, how am I supposed to estimate the cost of stock or broken shelves when I do not know if my shelves will break or how much I will sell? I cannot see into the future.
That's true. None of us can predict the future, but we can do our best to estimate what our costs will be. In your case, you have 25 years of experience to draw from. You might try to remember what you paid in the last few years, and that will give you an idea of a good estimate.
What about me? I don't have 25 years of experience. Am I to understand that I cannot make a budget? I know I'm good with money, but I have no idea what I might earn or spend in my first year as a shopkeeper.
You don't have to have experience to make a budget, though it does help. In your case, you would want to do as much research as possible to determine what your business income and expenses would be. See if you can find an agro dealer, perhaps in another town, who would be willing to share their insights. Talk to suppliers to get a sense of prices. You can also talk to farmers in your community to develop a sense of how much they buy from agro dealers in a typical year. Again, the secret is to be a bit pessimistic. Just as you want to slightly underestimate your income, you should slightly overestimate your expenses. It is always better to be pleasantly surprised by earning more or spending less than you budgeted for than to be greatly disappointed by the opposite. Writing up a budget doesn't have to be complicated. You can write it out by hand, type it up on a computer, or even use an app on your phone. Simply write down your anticipated income quarter by quarter, add it together, and that is your total income. Below that, list all your expenses for the year. Everything from rent to your cell phone plan to what you will spend on inventory. Add that all up and you have your total expenses. If you subtract your total expenses from your total income, that will give you your net income, or how much money you should have left over at the end of the year.
What if it ends up being negative?
Then you will want to study your budget and identify ways to reduce costs. That's part of the reason why you should build a budget. Being able to make decisions about where you need to save in advance is better than suddenly discovering you are losing money one day and having to think up a plan in the moment. For example, perhaps you find that you are spending a great deal on transport for stock. You might consider banding together with other shop owners to buy stock on the same day and share the costs of transport. Or perhaps you find that by ordering the same herbicide 4 times during a year, you are spending more on delivery than if you just ordered it once in bulk. Or maybe you find that your rent eats up a great deal of your profits. You might consider negotiating with your landlord or consider a move to a more affordable space. The bottom line is, we can't find ways to control our expenses unless we know what they are, and a budget helps us to do that. 2 other things we want to think about related to our budget are our break-even point and our cash flow. The break-even point is the point at which your sales exactly cover your expenses. So looking at your expenses, you might say, my total expenses are 100 million Ugandan shillings per year. So if I expect that a fifth of my income will come from selling fertilizer, 100 million divided by 5 is 20 million. If I sell fertilizer for 57,500 Ugandan shillings in 50 kilo units, that means I have to sell 348 units of fertilizer to break even. Knowing this can help you determine if your sales are on track to cover your expenses. So if you are 4 weeks into growing season, when you expect to sell most of your fertilizer, but the units sold are lower than you expect them to be, you can find ways to cut expenses or intensify your marketing efforts to make up the difference.
When you explain it that way, I wish I could have done this last year. I spent so much time looking at the shelves, wondering if we were selling enough. Had I done those calculations, I would have known.
I don't know. I can usually just tell if things are selling well or poorly.
Even so, it is good to know your break-even point, either to help take corrective action or to find ways to be even more efficient and profitable. We have offered some additional guidance on finding your break-even point in the printed guide that accompanies this course, and you can also find apps for your phone that help to calculate a business break-even point. The last thing we want to think about with budgeting is our cash flow. As we said before, part of the challenge of being an agro dealer is that our expenses and our income are not evenly distributed throughout the year. We will likely purchase all our stock in the dry season, but won't actually sell most of it right away. Meanwhile, we have to pay for rent and electricity all year round. This can lead to situations where you might be looking forward to a very good season, but because you don't have enough cash left over from last season, you are unable to buy enough stock to meet demand. Or maybe you have a difficult year and it becomes a challenge just to pay your bills month to month in order to make it to the next growing season. To avoid these predicaments, you need to track not only your expected net income for the quarter of the year, but also how much cash you expect to have on hand from week to week or month to month. This is called your cash flow. If you have more cash coming into your business than going out, you have positive cash flow. As an agro dealer, you likely have positive cash flow when the farmers are preparing for their harvest and ordering supplies. But what about the months when farmers are not purchasing inputs and your expenses are greater than your income? That would be called a negative cash flow, and if you don't address it, you will not be in business for long. In fact, poor cash flow management is one of the main reasons businesses fail. You might be on track to turn a profit at the end of the year, but if you can't pay rent when farmers aren't buying from you, you will soon be without a shop. You will need to track it every month in a cash flow statement. Simply add any cash on hand you have to the cash coming into your business from sales on a given month. Below that, write down all your expenses for the same month, from rent to inventory. If your monthly expenses are less than your monthly income, then you have a positive cash flow for the month. But what happens if you work out your cash flow and find that you might have trouble paying your bills during the dry season?
Well, during those slow months, I borrow money from my brother-in-law who works for the oil company. I mean, it is not a loan exactly. He knows it is just a temporary situation and I always pay him back. But he likes to make jokes like, I don't know, Mokisa, do you think you are going to sell enough seed to pay me back? Even though there's never been a problem in 25 years.
Borrowing money from family is complicated business. So let's discuss some other ways we can pay our bills during those months of negative cash flow. First, you can negotiate with your creditors or the people you owe money to. If you can convince them to give you time to pay them back, you can make it to your busy season when the money is coming in. For example, you might consider asking for an extension of payment terms from your fertilizer supplier if sales have been slower than expected. Likewise, you should monitor your debtors, keep track of any customers or other people who might owe you money in a debtor's book, and try to get them to pay early or at least pay on time. You should also avoid tying up cash in products that do not sell. If you purchase a great deal of stock that does not sell, you might as well put your money in a safe and throw away the key. Yes, you can still make that money back eventually, but you can't use it to pay your expenses today. Hopefully, by developing a marketing plan and thinking through which products will be likeliest to sell, you can avoid overstocking your shop with products customers won't buy or won't buy fast enough. Lastly, you can secure a loan from a bank. Small loans can be ideal for managing cash flow, particularly if your creditors are unwilling to give you extra time to pay them back. In short, sometimes you just need, well, cash. A bank can supply that for you if you can make a strong case that you will use it wisely. We will talk about how to approach banks in later sessions. So that concludes our discussion of budgeting and cash flow. Perhaps the best way to think about all of this is to view your budget and cash flow statement like a financial roadmap that can help you navigate through the year. Just like a roadmap, you must continuously refer to your budget to make sure you are on course to pay your expenses and make a profit. That said, you might find that your original budget was too optimistic, or that what you are spending or the amount you are making is very different from what you estimated. In these situations, it is okay to revise your budget to make sure it is more aligned to reality. Either way, building and maintaining a budget is definitely worth the effort. We have reached the end of this session. Take a moment to think about your income and expenses. Is there a particular time of the year that you always struggle to pay your bills? On the other hand, is there a particular time of the year when you feel that you have all the money in the world? Is there any expense that comes to mind that you might be able to reduce in some way? Begin building a budget with estimated income and expenses for each quarter of the year. Then subtract your expenses from your income to determine your net income.